And now guys, I'm going to send more villagers here to get wood. By the way, I'm not gonna talk about the houses. You can do the houses anytime you want. The only rule is that you must not get housed. So just respect this small rule. Villagers here getting the ship. 4 on the wood, 4 on the other, going for the stone. And here's the detail. I have 14 villagers getting the food, 8 here on the board or chip, 6 on the berries, and now I'm going to send 3 villagers to the stone and 3 villagers to the goat. The ones in the goat can be later because I only need the goat to go up castle, but the ones in the stone are really important for you to do in the beginning. There are some players who do not do build orders like this. They go for a regular build and then just later on they go to the stone. I do not like this kind of build order because you are having to relocate a lot of villagers to the stone. In the way I'm doing here, I won't have to relocate my villagers, so that's probably what makes this build order, in my opinion, a bit better. So I'm sending more villagers here to the goat. I will send 2 more, and I'm going up with pop 29. It's really a high pop. It's not a really fast castle, but you're still being able to do this in 60 minutes, so not that bad, huh? You are going to have your castle before minute 18, and the investment on your castle is also an investment on a defensive asset, which can be really good for you. I'm clicking feudal, and now I'm going to make 8 farms around my TC with my 8 villagers there. So 1, 2, 3, oh bad one, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 farms. So I still have 6 villagers on the berries, 8 farmers here, 4 villagers on one wood, 4 on the other. You can use the same lumber camp, but I suggest you to invest in the second one because it will be easier for you to have more spots. Of course, in a regular game, by 11 minutes you could be being attacked, so this is not a good strategy to make if you have a really open map. As I said, this will work better in arena map, black forest, oasis where you just can wall yourself. If I wanted to do this for real in this map, I would probably have to wall in Dark Age those spaces here with a few palisades in order to give me enough time to go. Okay, that's an important comment to make. The moment that I hit the feudal age, I'm going to make 2 more villagers to the stone, make a market and a blacksmith. Okay, that's why I didn't make a barracks. So 2 more villagers to the stone, a market and a blacksmith. That's the buildings I'm doing to go up. Market here, blacksmith there, 2 more villagers to the stone. Notice guys that I already have 450 stone by the moment I'm clicking, so I only need 200 more until I go castle, and with 5 villagers I will be able to do so. The villagers on the berries are about to finish to get in, and I'm going up. Now that I'm going up, I will start to think about the resources. If you are playing with a civilization with extra food savings or with some food bonus, this economy can be even better. This is the worst your economy can be, with only regular resources and having to rely on the farms. So I'm going for the wood up, and I'm going to divide those villagers here to the woods in the moment that they finish these berries. And that's what I'm just doing, dividing the villagers to the woods. And why I'm doing this? Because as the Mayans, I do not need farms, because the plumed archers only cost wood and gold. But if you are playing with a civilization, for example the Spanish, that you need to make a unit that is going to cost you food, you need at this moment to think about adding more farms, okay? This is really important. Since I only did the farms later... Oh, what's this? It's a donation from T90. Thanks a lot, man. That's a good interruption. Guys, this was from a T90 event. This is not a random donation. I wish. Thanks a lot. And okay, I'm going to make the castle now. I'm about to reach castle, and one thing that I would like to say is that you need to choose wisely where you are going to put your castle. I'm making more houses here to protect my map. I'm going to put the castle in the front of my stones, in the front of my base, and I'm going to wall the rest. So the castle will be able to protect me from anything. So right now I will start making the castle here in the front. If it's possible, use more villagers to help. Do the castle with at least 8 villagers, or it will be a doubt castle. You know what a doubt castle is? It's a castle that the community calls a castle when you try to make it and you end up losing your villagers before you can finish this because you didn't send the right amount of villagers. So, maybe an internal joke. I'm bad at explaining jokes. Now I'm sending more villagers to the gold. I want to have 5 there. Okay, I have 5. I just upgraded the wood. And now, guys, I will be able to start booming. To do the boom, I will just let 3 villagers here on the stone to keep getting stone for me. And I will start adding TCs. Also making the horse collar because the farms are going to go off in a few seconds. And boom! I have now a castle. And I can start making the plumed archers. You see? Enemies coming with scouts, but what can scouts do against a castle? Nothing. You just had a great defensive asset. So you can start making your army now, like I'm doing here, and make like fletching and other upgrades to protect yourself. Remember to always use the buildings to protect your economy. And if your enemy tries to fight you with more armies, the importance of having units such as the Conquistador, the Plumed Archers and other ones like this is that you are going to be able to run back to your castle. So I will just keep making Plumed Archers and I will start to make a regular booming. If you're not familiar with the booming, the idea here is to expand my echo the best I can. And to do this, I'm going to add more TCs like I'm doing. So a second TC here on this wood, going to add a second one here on the gold. You guys can see that I have a good wood bank because all my 8 farms are about to go off, so I will just order to make more 8 farms. You see? 8 farms there, and now guys I need to add farms because I need 6 farms to support each town center. Only have 8 here, 3 more there, so I need 1 more. Okay, so now those 2 town centers can stand, but I'm soon going to have to add more farms to support the 3rd one. Okay? This economy can be much better if you are already getting resources on your way up, like deers and extra boars. But I'm not gonna focus on this. So I'm just making more and more villagers. A good trick if you do not have enough resources is to use your market to buy 100 food, because this will not let your town centers to stop like this, okay? I'm just doing this because I didn't have any food saving and I don't want my economy to stop because of the lack of farms. And I keep messing army, guys. One struggle that people often have using this kind of build order is that your enemy is going to have much more army in numbers. So if my enemy try to go, for example, for a fast castle with crossbowmen, man, at this moment this guy is probably having a lot more plumets than I do. And now I'm going to pause because I'm not going to pause. I will just make the wheelbarrow and I will explain some important thing about this strategy. It depends a lot on what you want to do. But for example, do I want to make a 4 TC boon or only a 3 TC one? This is the moment to choose, like 23 minutes, because after this, going for 4 TCs will make me a lot later, and going for only 3 might not be enough. In this case, I'm going only for 3 TCs. I'm not using more. All the farms are reseeded already, so zero problem. And to go with 3 TCs, what I have to do here is to make at least 30 farms to go up. If you are playing as the Mayans, or with civilizations like the Burmese, or civilizations where you only want to use units like the Plummet Archers, units that only cost gold and wood. So I'm aiming for 30 farms right now, and all the other villagers I'm going to send to the gold. Okay? And of course I keep making army. I don't want to stop making diplomats. The game, your needs are going to be really different. In some games you might have to invest to have full upgraded diplomat archers, because you will be having a lot of fightings. In some others, just these few units here are enough. So, to not be unfair, I'm going to make a version of the game where I need all the upgrades. So I'm going to need the ballistics, and I'm going to need the Bodkin arrow, and that's what I'm going to do right now. The Bodkin arrow can be done earlier. Sometimes you just want to have +2 archers, so you sacrifice a bit of your economy in order to have it. It's no big deal. You just add TCs later. You are not going to die because you do not have an early TC. Maybe you are even going to be better because you are going to kill your enemy. So, do not worry. Let's count the farms. I have exactly 30 farms right now. So this is really nice. And I'm about to go up. So, ooh, I should have upgraded the gold before. I didn't. My mistake, guys. As soon as you can upgrade the gold. That was really a mistake. I probably forgot to do this. Sorry. Crap build order, huh? Really crap. The guy doing the build orders just killed the boar like an idiot, and it's not being able to make it. So ballistics now, the armor for the archer. I already have the Bodkin arrow. I can just now keep adding villagers to the stone and to the wood until I can go up, because I already have like 20 villagers on the gold. No, only 18. So let's send 2 more to the gold, and I will be fine. You can see that with 3 TCs, I'm not spending a lot of food on the villagers. I already have the more farms here supporting the TCs, so all the extra farms are being used to make upgrades for my economy, like this upgrade, like this one for the mill to reseed the next farms, and like the handcart that I'm about to do in just a second. And of course you can get big heals. Now you have a fast army. This fast army can be useful against a lot of units. The Plummet Archers are really strong. You could be raiding with conks or other civilizations. The raiding technique is one of the most important in this kind of game. Are you familiar with the raiding? If you're not, man, I'm going to make a video about this. Raiding is to avoid direct contact. You just get there, try to kill villagers, avoiding direct fightings against your enemy, only picking fights where you can win, which are not a lot because you won't probably have the same number of army as your enemy does, but we're going to win in quality and in economy. So villager down. I'm just going to kill a lot of villagers until I have resources to go up. For example, I just find his army. I do not need to fight. I can just run because my units are faster. And a really big part of going for this strategy, especially with Plummet Archers and stuff, is to get map control. You are often at some point of Castle Age having a stronger army, so you can use heals like this one to make castles and get map control. You are going to see a lot of games like this with civilizations like the Mayans and the Burmese, and I'm about to click up. Okay, so I'm going up. I already sent a lot of villagers to this stone, so I will be able to keep making castles, and now I will just keep sending a few villagers to the woods. Okay? That's how this is going to go. It's gonna go. So the idea here is that I can make units to support. Usually, if I'm playing 1v1, these deployment archers can be supported by any kind of unit. If my enemy is going for paladins, I'm going to make halberdiers to support them. If my enemy is going, for example, for skirmishers or other units like this, I'm going to do the runs. Plumed archers and sig runs are great combination. So I'm just keeping sending more villagers to the wood now, because I will have a lot of farms to reseed. They're about to go off, if you check them. And I have a lot of units that I want to do. Also important that with this economic balance, I can also click the Elite Plumed Archer upgrade that costs a lot of wood and a small portion of food, like 500 in regular AOC, and probably even more in Wololo Kingdom. So it's not that few units, that few resources. Sorry. Another important upgrade is the thumb ring, which will make my Plumed Archers to fire faster. So to make the thumb ring, I need to make a barrack and an archery range. I'm about to add a third castle, guys. So this is really important. And what really I see people doing wrong in this strategy is that they are not concerned about their time. If you're doing this as a pocket, for example, and your enemy is going for cavaliers, you want to make a faster up. That's really necessary for you. By the way, always try to use the hills like I'm using here. Try to micro always in the high ground. And I'm going to make all the upgrades for my Plumed Archers, guys. The Elite Plumed Archer, the Conscription to make them faster, the Bracer as the attack, the Chemistry to help them with the attack as well, the Wood Up, which is really important. If we're playing as the Mayans, also make the Mill upgrade that I'm about to do. So the Mill upgrade is also important, and I just missing the thumb ring because I forgot to make the barrack earlier. You can see that I have a lot of wood, but as I said, my farms are about to go off. You see? A lot of them with 1 HP, 6 HP, 1 food, 6 food. So I have to reseed the farms right now, and I can start making the trebuchets if I want. I can start making the siege if I want. In Wololo Kingdoms, I could even make this upgrade here that help my Plumed Archers against building. The obsidian arrows that cost food and gold. No problem, economy is not a problem anymore. Those units are cheap and strong. See, tambourine coming. And I can just keep adding plummets, runs or whatever. If my enemy was playing with civilizations like the Magyars or the Huns, or civilizations that he was planning to use paladins, guys, I would not just go straight for hands. I would probably make 10 more farmers, 1 more blacksmith to make upgrades faster, and go for the halberdiers. So I'm upgrading now the runs. If you're playing a Mayan War, which is really common in maps like Riverside Fortress and other maps, it's really important that you have more siege. So try to always do at least 4 Sig workshops, and try to have at least 40 villagers on the wood every time. So let me check my wood. I have 39, so not the 40 that I thought that I had, sorry. But I'm not gonna add more villagers. This number of villagers is enough. I just need to add more runs now. And always, guys, trying to get Imperial first than your enemy to abuse of this map control. Let's see, for example, if your enemy was just reading Imperial right now, you would have the control of those hills, you would have trebuchets to kill his castles, so you could kill a civilization that had a stronger unit because you had a better timing. So doing this treatise boom after you do the castle drop is really important. If you're not used to the Mayan one, just follow this build order and it's going to be really sweet for you. You do not need to exaggerate on farms like when you were doing paladins. With only those farms that I made, I was able to upgrade all the upgrades for the archers, and of course the important Sig run upgrade. So more and more Sigs coming. I can just keep adding plumes as I wish, and of course always trying to advance and make castles on the hills. If you do this strategy in the right way, you can even add mangonels on Castle Age if it's a 1v1 game. If this is a team game, I do not recommend you to use mangonels. I would rather suggest you to boom. Mangonels are not so common, so that's how it works. Now I just have to keep making runs, making plummets. All this extra food, I can stop getting it and going all for the wood, all for the gold, maybe selling a bit, maybe using this to upgrade infantry, but if this was a 1v1 Mayhem war, that's all that you need to know. You need a lot of runs, lot of plummets, and always like this. Getting the high ground, high ground, high ground, high ground. If you need to fight a trap war, or if you want to make your position more solid, I suggest for you 2 upgrades. The hoardings that you can make in the castle, and the masonry and the architecture on the university. Your castle starts with 4,800 HP, and it can get past to 7,000 HP, so this is really important. And guys, there's nothing else to be seen here. This game is over. GG. So I just did a build order for the castle drop, and I even went further and used this to show how you do the 3TC boom for Mayans while keep doing implement archers. Quite a simple strategy, but once again I'm going to enforce the secret, guys, is here. You cannot just go for this strategy to go Imperial after your enemy. You must go faster, you must use your advantage, you must use it to win trap wars. If your enemy is trying to go, for example, with Cavaliers or Knights, you are going to have to use this good timing in order to get yourself on castle and do it. If you also look, it's not a really slow fast castle, it's a 16-minute one, man, really good one, with regular resources, so this is the worst you can do. You can even be better than this. And that's it for this build. Let me get back. Obsidian arrows doesn't affect plummets. No? Fuck this. Not good. I'd rather take resources than high ground. Well, pink and orange, it depends a lot, man. How do you secure middle hill in a 1v1 Mayan war? Well, if you are playing a 1v1 Mayan war, probably the best way for you to secure the big hill is to make mangonels. So if I were playing again, if this was not being used in a team game, but in a 1v1, I would probably use mangonel. If it was a team game, I would just try to mass more plummets and use their speed with my ally to try getting faster. Were you playing against the AE? Yep, I was recording build orders, man. I like to record build orders. I just recorded a build order for the castle drop. Pretty standard one. And the castle drop is one of my favorites, to be honest, because I'm not much of a feudal age player, so with this strategy you have a lot of bonus. You have a great defensive asset, the castle. If you are, for example, if you are playing arena and you just go for the castle drop, and your enemy was trying to make a castle push or a monk rush, man, you just put a fucking castle in the front of your base, and now he's not going to just walk into your TC, which is really good. What do you think about your games in Master of Arena? I guess that I was not fully prepared for my games. I did a really bad move in like 3 or 4 games. Terrible playing the VNS game. Terrible playing the Byzantine against Britons. I just lost to Britons having the Byzantines, one of the strongest civilizations. But the others, it was fine. Did you know it was open Doubts Arena in game 3? Well, some people told me after, but during the game I didn't know. I played like if he was fully walled, so I didn't know. Guys, I'm going to watch a game between CL and Rubenstock. People have pointed for me that it was a good game. Glock, what about the Byzantine against Britain? Terrible game for me, Glocken. I totally read wrong the strategy. I gave doubt time. I think that at some point I had to make a decision. Do I want to go for 3TC and faster Imperial, or do I want to go really slow for a more bulky army? And man, I went for the bulky army. I just made a 5,000 gold bank that I didn't use it for fuck's sake. So this was terrible. I also didn't knew that the trebuchets with Wolf were that dangerous. I just lost Byzantine buildings, man, which was really bad. Cast Melkor against Viper games. Well, that's a really nice idea. I guess I just downloaded the CL, but I'm going to cast the Viper once because I don't know if I had time to cast all the games from CL. So let me download this. Okay, Viper against Melkor. So that's the games we're going to watch. If I remember my password, fuck AOC Zone. Master of Arena 5, record games. Winchester played against Classic Pro, Viper against Melkor. I'll watch Winchester later. Let's start with these games. I really want to know for what civs they went, what strategies. I didn't got to watch this series. Your password is fuck AOC Zone? Yep, exactly. What strategy would you have done in hindsight in the Byzantine game? To be honest, Glocken, I think that the runs with the skirmishers are pretty much okay as a strategy. The problem is that I shouldn't have just get bulked a lot and gave out all the map control. I should have tried to go for smaller but faster booming and to start making the sig runs before Doubt could afford both longbowmen and the light cav. So if at some point he only had like 5 light cav and I was already hitting him with the runs, I would probably win. I just waited for him to have enough supplies and map control to keep making a lot of light cavs and full upgraded plummet archers. I think that the strategy was not the problem. The timing of the strategy was the problem. You get what I'm saying? So this was a timing mistake, not strategy. Strategy wise, I would have gone for the same fucking thing. Maybe adding arbalests if I noticed that he was going for the light caps before I could add the halps, but still I would still make the same thing, going for the relics, then switching into the skirmishers runs, maybe a few arbalests, but in that game I played, even with the arbalest I would have be that. The main problem is that I gave him time, I gave him map control, I gave him space, and I didn't use my advantages as I should. Timing problem, probably. So guys, before I go for the games, let's see the draft. So let me even change the title here. Fuck Viper, let's put Melkor first. No problem, Glocken, I'm here to answer questions, man. Thanks for your insights. Let's see. The draft is just... Oh, fuck. No. No, I will restart the draft. I just fucked it with this. Let's go again. So the game just started. After seeing my performance with the Byzantines, Viper banned the Byzantines, Melkor banned the Aztecs, and then they just got the Burmese and the Malay, which are going to be banned, guys. They are not playing with those civs. So the Burmese are really strong. I would always ban the Burmese. Now, where things are starting to show here. For example, Italians, I can understand why, but Indians for Viper, what does he want to do with Indians? He wants to get economical advantage and win with really vanilla army like Halbs, hand cannoneers, maybe in the worst situation the Imperial Camels that are not so good if your enemies just keeping adding a lot of Halbs. The Spanish from Viper, Spanish I can also understand. Turks for Melkor. Turks are good cavalry, now cavalry archers, of course the Janissary, and Slavs. To be honest, I think that most of those civilizations wouldn't have a problem to fight against each other. Really nice sets of civilizations. All Melkor civilizations are great for economy, all they have monk lines. Viper going for the Indians, not sure. Ethiopians, so well, Indians and Ethiopians just show me that Viper wants to go for the booming and want to abuse of his economy. So he wants to make a solid boom and go for a lot of siege, halbs, hand cannoneers. That's what I can see by those civs. Spanish are really versatile, cannot say what he's going to do. As for Melkor, Italians, Turks, Slavs, different sets of civilizations, different ways of playing with each one, but just seems to me like safe choices. They have good starts, but they can also be strong if games goes longer. So that's my analysis from it. So let's go for the games. Humidity in Brazil, the heat metal, it's really a lot of heat here, man. So let's go now to watch the record game. I will start with game 1, and by the way guys, there's no secret here. With those civilizations, the Burmese and the Malay are going to be banned unless those guys are really crazy ones. And as for the start, I would probably start with any, since it's random. So let's start with the first game between Viper and Melkor. Let's see which sets of civilizations are we going to see. Game is starting and Viper is playing with the Ethiopians. I really like the idea of the Ethiopians. Let's talk about the civilization before we go for Fëanor. The Ethiopians have archers that fire faster, which means crazy crossbows, awesome arbalests that can reveal with any ranged unit during all the game. So this civilization could be the doom of the Turks, for example. They have extra resources by the moment they upgrade their age, which can be really helpful for going faster to Castle, to Imperial. Pikemen and Halberdier as free upgrades. This adds a lot. Viper could go for some strategy like Mangonels and Pikemen. He only need to make a barracks and he would already have Pikemans, which is really good to play against cavalry civilizations. Their unique unit is the Shuttle Warrior, a strong but vulnerable infantry, a lot of attack, great raiding unit, great raiding unit. But not so sure about arena with those guys. I can see they being more useful in open maps like Arabia. And for their Castle and Imperial Age decks, both one of them makes the Shuttle Warriors to create fast, and the other one makes the runs to have blast damage, which makes the runs and onagers even stronger. Also they have towers and outposts with more line of sight. So that's the Ethiopians. So what am I expecting from the Viper? To use halberdiers, to use arbalests, to use his civilization strengths. I didn't see, but let's talk also about the monk. Ethiopian does not have redemption or block printing, so they do not have great monks, but they have heresy, and with fasting fire crossbows, you do not want a monk war, you want to use army. They have the full siege line, so they are a great civilization for siege. They are similar to the Celts, but with stronger archers and not that strong siege. Full siege line, but not OP siege line. They have all the economic bonus, which make them great for Imperial. And the only problem with the Ethiopians is that they do not have strong cavalry. So cavalry is not an option. If Viper needs to fight against needs to use cavalry, this is not going to be good. He has the Cavalier, they have Camel, but he doesn't have the +4 upgrade, which is really bad. So that's all that I can talk to you guys about the Ethiopians.